Thank you for joining me as part of Millions Missing 2021. Please can you introduce yourself and describe what your role has been in Millions Missing events in the UK?
Hi, my name is Chantelle. I live in Gloucester. I've had ME for 5 years. After watching the Unrest documentary, I set up a local friendship group for people in Gloucestershire with ME and similar chronic illnesses.
I'm Janet Sylvester and I'm one of the organisers of Millions Missing in Scotland.
My name's Carolyn Leary. I'm chair of the Sheffield ME and Fibromyalgia group that covers South Yorkshire and North Derbyshire.
My name's Jules Edenburgh. I'm in Dorset.
My name is Charlie and I live in the city centre of Leeds.
Hi, my name's Denise and I have helped to organise Millions Missing in London for 2018 and 2019 and then virtually since then.
How and why did you get involved in Millions Missing?
After watching the Unrest documentary, I set up a local friendship group for people in Gloucestershire with ME and similar chronic illnesses.
I got involved in Millions Missing really through my daughter Emma Shorter, who's had ME for the last 8 years.
Having watched the film Unrest and thinking that this kind of incredible social action by people who were confined to houses and beds and the extraordinary lengths that people went to come out on the streets, I thought was very, very moving.
I got involved with Millions Missing through Facebook, really, through a Facebook group, and got chatting with people.
I got involved with Millions Missing because in 2018, so I'd watched Unrest, and obviously, as many people, it had such a huge impact on me.
I think it was after I watched Unrest, I realised I wanted to do something.
When you think back to Millions Missing 2019, which was the last time we were able to have in-person events, are there any moments that stand out to you as moments that really illustrate what Millions Missing is all about?
I think it was just seeing everybody come together, people with ME, meeting others who also have ME and just realising that they're not as isolated and as alone as they may have thought.
I think what really stands out from 2019 was that feeling of support for people with ME. It really brought the ME community together along with people from outside, and there was a real feeling of solidarity. We all felt we had support from people who would help us and help us with the fight with ME in Scotland.
I think one of the things that absolutely stands out for me is that just the night before our first Millions Missing, into my inbox dropped a track recorded by some people in Sheffield, written by a woman who lives on the edge of Sheffield, who's extremely ill. She's written an amazingly moving song called Can You Hear Me, which we have played, and in fact it's been played in quite a few other Millions Missings around the world.
I mean, the shoes, like you walk around the corner and you see this square full of shoes, and it just hit me really strongly, just that visual image of all these people just missing from their lives.
Normally, ME is confined to people's bedrooms, and those 4 walls that you're in when you're poorly know what ME is, and other than that, nothing really does. But on that day, in that moment, I knew actually everybody here is, if they don't already understand, trying to understand. So ME today is not confined, and for me, that's what Millions Missing is. It's ME getting that recognition, but also that unity of we're all in this together.
I think it was a sense of community. So people were having coffees and sitting down and talking and telling their stories and just meeting each other. And that was wonderful.
What is one of your personal highlights from Millions Missing?
It was just seeing so many people there, and we were fortunate to have the local MPs come along as well and show their support.
You know, it was quite an emotional moment at the end when the supporters and some of the volunteers got up on stage and we sang this song called Can You Hear Me, which is a song by Alex Fay, a person with ME, who wrote it especially for Millions Missing. And we were looking out on the hundreds of people in the crowd who were singing along with us. And it just felt wonderful.
For me personally, it was to be part of a very visible action where people really got it, where people understood what this extraordinary illness is like to live with, and where people were openly, crying about the loss and the grief, but also the solidarity and understanding of each other. And that was just amazing, really, to feel so part of a community where nobody questions, nobody doubts, nobody's trying to fix you or sort you, and where people just understand and they know how to be with you.
You're amongst people that understand and aren't going to judge you because we're all there together. So that for me was my personal highlight.
In 2019, standing there in Leeds and not only sharing my story so publicly for the first time, but seeing other people do it as well.
I think the first year we hoped that a few dozen people would turn up, and a few hundred people turned up and stayed there in the rain throughout the whole thing. And another highlight of that time was actually getting to meet the people who'd helped organise the event, because we'd only met online before that.
What do you think Millions Missing achieves?
I think it raises awareness. It creates an understanding kind of across the community.
It brings the community together, encourages people to volunteer for ME Action Scotland, and that really helps us with our campaigns. It gives us a profile, it gives us a sense of community that we know that the Scottish Government is now listening to us.
I think Millions Missing has been very powerful. It's been an opportunity for us every year to get in touch with our MPs. We've had them as speakers, and we've also interviewed them online each year. So they kind of got to be a little bit accountable for whether they've done anything about this issue over the year. It's been an amazing coming together as a kind of vehicle to actually just tell the truth about what it's like living with ME and how ignored this has been for so many decades.
Finding a voice that wasn't just me on my own, it was thousands of us joining together, and millions of us across the globe, because it's global as well. It's not just something that's happening here. Great that we got on the BBC, great that we're getting the message out there, but for me it's the personal contact and the validation that it's real. But I'm still me inside here.
On the day, the amount of press that the protests and the campaigns always get is one of the main things that we strive for. When you see the press photos of all these red t-shirts, of these shoes, of all these people gathering around, you can see actually how present ME is, because often it's something that nobody sees, and because nobody sees it, nobody understands it. But having the disease in the middle of city centres, all over social media, it aims to show people actually this struggle is real and it's affecting an awful lot of us, and it's affecting your friend or your family member, it's affecting the stranger that walks past you in the street. It's so important that Millions Missing keeps going.
I think it gives visibility to people who are often isolated, alone, and they feel that no one cares. I think it shows them that there are a lot of people who do care and are standing up for them, and they're not alone.
And finally, what are your hopes for Millions Missing in the future?
My immediate reaction to this question is that I hope we don't have it anymore, that I hope our aims are achieved and that people with ME have the research, support and treatment that they deserve. However, I think that will happen eventually, but I would think what I would really like for Millions Missing is that research identifies a cure for ME and we all get together with a major ceilidh in George Square in Glasgow and just have a wonderful celebration.
We can mark the achievements and the celebrations and what we've done together, but we can also mark the passing of time and still lack of investment and the lack of research. But there are a few little kind of glimmers of hope, aren't there? That maybe we will have more things to celebrate. My hope is that what we celebrate in the future is that ME is fully understood and we've found a cure for it.
Obviously, research, health equality, getting stories out there. But for me, I think it will always be about the individual and about finding yourself within this community, and about holding somebody's hand and just crying with them because you understand, or having your hand held and crying with someone because they understand.
I think my biggest hope for Millions Missing in the future is that we can actually stand outside together again and hug each other and share our stories face to face. I want to see dogs in Millions Missing t-shirts. I want to see banners all over city centres, and I want to see people going up and going, what's all this about? And then you explaining, and a complete stranger going, actually, that sounds really bad, and I want to do more about that. And why haven't I heard about ME? I think as long as people are asking questions, we're moving forward.
I hope there'll be less need for it. I hope for good treatment, better research, and more understanding of people with ME. So I hope it will become a celebration rather than something we have to campaign for.